Hickok 45 here, and it's going to be a good day at the range because I am going to be slinging 400 grain, 300 grain chunks of lead, right, 4570, through this Marlin Model 95 Cowboy. CB stands for Cowboy. See that octagonal barrel? It's the Cowboy version of the 95, and it's a new one. Okay, y'all been asking me to try one of these newer Marlins out, and so I ordered one. Think I ought to shoot it? Let's do. All right, we got an empty in the chamber because I fired one. Now we got loaded for bear. We're literally loaded for bear with this thing. 4570. We might as well go across the hill, see if I can hit that red plate. Guess I can't. There we go. I hit it in rehearsal. Rehearsal. Pretty funny. Oh, I went low. Yeah, we don't rehearse anything, but I did take a couple of shots. Just got to get it up on there. Okay. You know what? I can actually shoot some of the animals with this. Those on the top row. Well, I can hit them. It's okay to hit them, is what I'm trying to say. I'll try a ram. And going low again. There we go. Oh my gosh. And boy, that thing must really be nailed down. Okay, we're empty. I think I had 8 or 9 rounds in there. It holds 9, I believe, in the magazine. And again, it's the Cowboy version. It's a 26-inch barrel. Take a look at that thing. I love an octagonal barrel. I've always loved octagonal barrels. I remember being so pleased to get my first rifle with one of those barrels, that 1886 Winchester or Browning. Or actually it was a muzzleloader, the very first one. But they're just gorgeous. And this is, like I said, the CB version, the Cowboy version. I got the pad on it. There's nothing under this pad, you know, to see that's beautiful or anything. I'll just put it back on. It's not a historical, beautiful old Mauser or anything like that. So one of the things I want to talk a little bit about is let's shoot it and let you know about this rifle. A lot of you may not even be familiar with this rifle, old or new, but it's pretty cool. The 95 is a classic Marlin rifle, 4570. I had one of the standard Marlin Model 95s back in the 80s for a while. I've known a lot of people that have had them. They hunt with them. They just like them. If you like the 4570, it's just a good, strong rifle. You can shoot about any load in these things because you know, they're strong. They're very strong, and they have a good reputation for strength. And I'm partial to the Cowboy models. I've got one over there we'll talk about it after a while here. The Model 94 Cowboy version, that's the CB version of that. You got the octagonal barrel. I just like the octagonal barrels, and they're usually a little bit longer, and they just look cool. They look Old West, right? That barrel. So, this is a new one, and we all know the stories about Freedom Group, so we're not going to, you know, hide from that. That's one of the reasons that I think some people have suggested I try one of these out, because you know I have a lot of Marlins. I guess you could say a lot. I have, yeah, probably 6 or 7 Marlins, a couple of 94s. I have 2 or 3 others in 4570, various formats, and I've got one in 35 Remington. Maybe I have 8 or 9 Marlins, but I have several. But they're all the older ones. They'll have the JM on the barrel. And since they were purchased or moved and are under the Freedom Group ownership, I have not really, I guess, well, I bought one. I've not fired one, have I? One of those? I don't think I have. So, this one so far, I've shot it for a couple, 3 days here, off and on. It seems to shoot okay. It's got a very heavy trigger. I mean, it must be a 14-pound trigger break. It's really, really stiff. It's crisp. I mean, you know when it's going to break. It's not some funky thing that has a lot of travel and you're not sure when it's going to break, but it's very, very stiff. I guess that'll probably get better. And it seems to shoot all right. I had to raise the rear sights to get it to hit where kind of I want to. It depends on the ammo I'm firing. Okay, and I started out with some of my hand loads there. These 405 grain, the classic round for the 45-70. That's it. And they were hitting a little bit lower, I think, than what I've been firing from Federal, the 300 grain, which is more of a hunting round. Well, any of these would work. And that's what I shoot a lot of when we have the 45-70s out. One thing, I don't want to destroy, I don't know which is harder on, to tell you the truth, some of this or the hard cast lead. Some of the animals, if you knew this, some of them are harder steel than others. Those on the top row up there are harder steel, the 2 rams and the 2 pigs. They're not AR 500 or anything, but so I'll sometimes lob something like this at them. Not a 308 or an 8mm Mauser or 30-06 or anything like that, but a big old heavy round like this, sometimes ouch, I'm gonna be bleeding before it's over. This thing will pinch you if you're not careful. So, I love a 45-70. Many of you already know, you know that fact. I load it on a progressive reloader, a 550B from Dillon, and I think early on when we did a couple of reloading videos, I was loading that stuff on a progressive press. I shoot a lot of 45-70. All right, let's shoot this thing. Feels good. It's when you get it loaded, it's interesting how much heavier it is after you get it loaded, because you have 8 or 9 big heavy rounds in that tube. All right, so there should be less recoil on the first 4 or 5 shots, right? I guess you're going to have to see the gong hit, right? I'll kick a couple animals off, maybe. Look him down. Boy, that pig didn't delay. I love it. Let's get another ram. Takes it over. Man, let's try one of these on a red plate. I think I can hold a little bit lower this. Man, okay. Popped him, didn't it? Turkey's a fairly hard steel. See if I can hit him. Well, sure, oh, there's another one. All right. Take your time. I'm not sure where I'm going. One thing about the rear sight, I've got a little bit of an excuse here. I discovered this with that other gun over there. When I started cowboy shooting with it, that was the rifle I bought to do cowboy action shooting. This little leaf in here, inside the sight, you can raise that or lower it. There's a little bitty screw, and it has the little diamond on it, the white diamond. Now, I don't know if that's changed, but when I started cowboy action shooting, you couldn't have anything like that on your rear sight because they wanted just the classic stuff. I think they've relaxed a lot of those rules and things now. But I had to turn it around, and the other side is black. Yeah. And so you don't have the diamond on the other side. And if this were my rifle, I would do that with this, even just plinking and shooting like I do here, not shooting at matches or anything. It messes with you. You wouldn't think it would. Maybe for a quick acquisition, it's something close, like I'm going to pull up and hit that watermelon, it would be advantageous. But I don't know, it just blurs out and goes weird, and you don't get as good a sight picture. At least I don't. When I was trying to aim on the turkey, I'm just seeing a bunch of white, and I'm seeing 2 of them and everything else. So I would turn that around. Just a tip: if you end up with this gun off eGunner, it's you might want to consider that if you have trouble seeing that sight. All right, so 45-70 hits hard. It's a great round. This gun It has Ballard rifling, if I didn't mention that, which means it's a deep cut rifling. It's not the micro groove. And I know people that shoot cast bullets even in the micro groove Marlins, but this is the traditional. See, I am bleeding somewhere. It has traditional rifling, and so it'll handle cast bullets or jacketed bullets, either one, just fine. And in their Cowboy models, I believe almost all of the Marlins are like that. They use the old style rifling. If you didn't know that Marlin, I don't know how many decades ago it was, but they started using that micro groove rifling, which is a lot of little bitty threads of rifling in the barrel, and it does fine. And a lot of people shoot. I have a friend who just shoots everything in his, and he does just fine. But Ballard rifling is supposed to be better for cast bullets if you wanted to shoot those as well. 26-inch barrel, black walnut stock and 4N, and notice the barrel is a different bluing than the receiver, so you've got that going. That's interesting. That must just be a thing with the newer Marlins. I don't remember the older ones being like that. Okay. And the wood for black walnut, maybe, a few treatments of ballistol or some oil, it would look a little bit better, but it doesn't look bad, but it is kind of bland. And walnut can look like that. Just doesn't have a lot of pretty grain in it, but it is black walnut, so that's pretty nice. The fit and finish back here looks okay. On the stock and everything. Up here on the forearm, I think we're clear. Look at the, I think it's not so great. The woodworking guy on this didn't do a great job, or gal. It's a little bit more of a lip on that side than on the other, as you can tell. I know sometimes it's hard to focus holding stuff up like this, but that's not a great job right there. And then this looks intentional, the lip back here, but it is even all the way around, so that's intentional. I think a little better fitting there would have been nice and would have been in order. Okay, so from what I hear, and this is just what I hear, Marlin got a lot of criticism, or the Freedom Group really, and whoever's making these things over the last several years, as not being nearly as high quality as the old Marlins. And every time I talk to them at the NRA meeting or a SHOT Show or somewhere, they seem to be aware of it, and they are improving it. That's what they claim, that it's getting better, and they're working on that. And that's also what I hear in the shooting community, that they are getting better, and that the mechanics of them are much better. Sometimes the fit and finish is not so hot. I think they're actually using better equipment to make them than they did at the old plant. Their tooling and everything was wearing out, was one of the problems. And so when they were bought out, they started over, from what I've read, with new equipment, CNC equipment, and all that kind of stuff that should make a good rifle. But it still comes down to the finished product. The proof is in the pudding, as they say. And the general consensus is they're getting better. I don't think they're back to where they were, but that they're getting to that point. Okay. Now you'd probably be fine with any of them, and they'd probably operate fine. I'm just not sure. I think one of the biggest issues was the fit and finish, over the last several years, and I'd like to see them get a little bit better on that. Now I'm not going to bash them, but I want to pull out this. I didn't do this just to make it look bad, but this is the one I bought in 1997, and now this is the 94. It's kind of a similar gun, just a 45 Colt. And if anybody from Marlin is watching this, it would be nice. I would willingly pay another $1,000, or not another $1,000. This runs about $750, I think, in this long barrel. I mean, if I wanted one of these, and I like these. I almost bought a used one at a gun show in Kentucky about 2 years ago. I remember. I came so close. It was an old one, because I've always liked this. It's a lighter 4570. It's a handy one. It just feels good, and it is one of the others that I wouldn't mind owning. And I came so close to buying it, and I'm always attracted to them. But I would gladly pay another $50, $75, or $100 if I really want one of these, to get this kind of woodwork on it and have this fit. See the finish here around that forend? all the way around. See, that's a nice job. And I'll bet you up here too. Yeah, see that? It's just like night and day. It's night and day the way it's molded to fit that cut. It's not perfect, but it's just not. And then the wood is nice. Now that's not hand checkering or anything, and you know, I could take that or leave it, but it's a nice little touch. Look at the wood grain on that. Of course, that's got a kind of a, I don't know, a coating on it. I don't know, some kind of varnish or whatever, and that would actually make that look better too, I guess. I'm not sure I like that or need that. I kind of like a just an oil finish on my stocks, to tell you the truth. But this just does fit better, and also the barrel is the same shade as the rest of the gun. All the bluing, the black, is the same shade, kind of a satin, you know. I like that better. I think that looks better than this with that high gloss barrel and then the other the way it is. Okay, so that's just my little message to Marlin. If you're watching, I think if you could, if it costs a little more, if you could go back and look at some of those old rifles that were made, boy, it'd be great, especially on this rifle. Now, you know, the lowest end Marlin that someone's just going to buy and go try to shoot a deer, they're not even, they don't even care whether it's stainless or what it is. Maybe they just want something that's going to work and be reliable and rugged and sling in the snow and everything. Maybe that doesn't matter. But this Cowboy model is, it's a firearm with some character. And so I hope they keep working on this one. This is just a nice gun. It balances well. It feels good. It's a little longish as a rifle, but it feels good. It's just a nice gun. And I'm going to shoot it some more. You know what? Let's do. Let's try a couple of these things. I'll just put about 4 of them in there, just in case they put me on my butt. I don't know that they'll do that. I think it's just a more premium bullet. Definitely a different looking bullet. Okay. So I'm not going to bash the gun. I'm glad to see Marlin still in business. There's that other school of thought that the Freedom Group saved them from going out of business totally. So Marlin still exists. So I would like to try to be constructive and to get them where they're making something that looks like that if possible. All right, we got 4 of these trophy bonded 4570, and we might as well just put one on the watermelon. Okay, I think that's why Federal developed this load. See, what did I tell you? Trophy bonded works every time. Oh, and I'm sacrificing a large clay pot too. Since we're going to do it, let's put one of these high dollar bullets on it. It's a heavy, large gauge flower pot down there. We thought we would honor this Cowboy rifle with it. Oh man, is that smoking pot or what? That might be the best pot smoking we've ever done. Look at that. Look at that smoke. Well, technically it's dust, right? Wow, that is something. Okay, well, we might as well see what trophy bonded will do to a 2-liter. Took it down. It does kick a little, I have to say. It kicks. So that is that's the thing with 4570. You have a lot of power, a lot of punch, and that's why they're so popular, you know, in Alaska and all around. The guide gun, all these firearms like this, they're not all that heavy, but they pack a real wallop. The 4570, these big, heavy, slower moving bullets. If you do a lot of reading on ballistics, too much maybe. I don't actually do that much, but over the years I've read from some really savvy gun writers how sometimes the heavy bullets, they're just more effective than they really ought to be. If you look at the ballistics charts and the foot-pounds of energy and everything, and of course people that swear by the 45 ACP would agree with that, wouldn't they? But these big old heavy bullets truck it along at a reasonable velocity. They're more effective than than you'd expect. Okay, and the 4570 is well known to be adequate protection. Now, I guess maybe a 458 Win Mag wouldn't be bad to have along if you encountered old grizz trying to eat you. But a 4570 will generally do the job, and that's hence the success of their guide guns. You know, their smaller rifles in 4570. So let's what are we going to shoot? Let's put some more of this in there. Okay, power shock. All right, 300 grain, which is probably more typical of what you would take deer hunting. Okay, I think 300 grain bullets are really popular among deer hunters, or if they're hunting with 4570, or if they're hunting moose or whatever, large animals, I guess. Okay, big old cases. One thing about these, they're not hard to find when you're picking up brass. Not hard to differentiate from anything else you've been shooting that day. Like big old glasses, iced tea glasses. All right, let's take out a couple of things, and let's put a couple on this target here. Oh, it's drenched. Look at that. Okay, that's all right. It'll still be in the box with this gun. All right, looks like it's in the bullseye, so we'll just leave that one, let that one do it. Disintegrate. Come on now, get out of there. Wow. I love to see what the old 4570 does to stuff. Here's a small 2 liter. Now wait a minute, if it's small, is it still a 2 liter? I don't know. Maybe it's a 1 liter. Let's try the red plate again. No, let's try that turkey again. See if I can see it well enough to hit it. All right. Got him. Sweet sound. More ammo. Nice. Love it. I love it. Let's try that plate in the middle red one. Right. Oh boy, finally it's empty. You know, that is quite an outfit. Something that shoots 4570 and holds 9 plus 1. And that is a lot of firepower. I gotta shoot just a couple more, okay? A couple more. What have I not told you about? Anything you want to know? Just ask away. All right. Actually, you could. Maybe we'll do some more of these on Facebook. Yesterday, we got to messing around, did one of those live feeds, and had some people talking to us here at the range. We may do that again sometime. Well, we will do it again. Okay. But since I can't hear any questions or see any questions right now, I know what you're asking. Would I buy this firearm? Or would I look for a vintage Marlin, with the JM on the barrel, if I were going to buy one of these? And that's a tough one. I would possibly, if I was really wanting one of these badly, I'd probably try to find some of them and look them over if I could, like in a gun shop. It just kind of depends on what you want and how badly you want one, because I think they weren't even making these for a while, so they were hard to find. I know that. So it just depends on how I say picky you are, particular you are. Like I say, if you just want something, you don't mind paying the money for it, and you're just going to go hunt, you're going to bang around in a tree stand, it's going to get scratched up and beat up anyway or something. The little things that I pointed out might not matter to you that much. You're going to beat it up anyway. You might just want a stainless firearm with a polymer, stock and stuff. If you're going to do that, I don't know. It kind of depends on your purpose. But if you're trying to get a really nice looking gun and you are really particular about fit and finish and everything, you might not be happy with some of what you see in the fit and finish on them. It just depends. You'd probably want to look at it if you could. I don't know. It's a tough call. I'm glad they're still making it. I'd like to see them continue improvement and get better at it. Okay. All right. Shoot a couple more here. You know, with the 4570, we ought to do a little buffalo hunting. I see one up there. Yeah, look at him swing. I can see the hit. Let's shoot the other buffalo. Yeah, got a couple of buffalo. That makes my day. Oh, it's falling away. We killed it. We killed it. And we have another round. One more. What am I missing? Oh, there's a container of water. Let's just finish up on that. Took care of it. Took care of it. So the Marlin Model 95 Cowboy, it is a, whether it's an old one or a new one, it is a kind of a special rifle because it's got some length, it's got a little character, that octagonal barrel, and they're just fun. I've picked them up so many times over the years. Like, I need another 4570. I think I have 6 4570s, and I don't need, quote unquote, another one. But if I were going to buy one, it would, very good chance it would be this one, either in the new or the old. Okay, so anyway, that's kind of my take on it. Kind of showed you the warts, and then also what I like about it. So, you know, there it is, a new Marlin 4570, big lead. Life is good. Oh, well, since I'm still here, let me take this moment to thank SDI, the Sonoran Desert Institute, for their support of the channel. We appreciate, you know, their help. SDI is a place where you can get certified in gunsmithing. You can even get an associate's degree in firearms technology and work in various areas of the firearms field. Might be appealing to you. They work a lot with veterans, and just a pretty cool place. So check out the link, sdi.edu. The link is in the description of most videos, almost all videos for the last 6 months or more. So so check that out. Also, while I have you, since I'm still here, be sure to check the links in all the descriptions, because, you know, we're on Full 30 now also with all the videos. So there's a link in the descriptions to Full 30, as well as, of course, our sponsors, SDI, budsgunshop.com, Federal Premium. So all the good information is there, as well as keep in mind that on Hickok 45 and Son, we have quite a few videos over there. John's doing the Gun Culture Radio Show over there. Check it out if you haven't done that yet. Our Facebook page, the Hickok 45 Facebook, the Hickok 45 and Son Facebook page. That's where we try to stay in touch with you and give you a little extra information. Even post pictures and a little video occasionally, just whatever. Mainly just a way to keep up with you all and provide some more information. You know, we're not really Facebookers, but it's a pretty good system for that, even though most of us are not in love with Facebook, right? So check all that out, and you really had better check it out, because I might just have to come to your house and have a chat with you if you don't. And I expect to have coffee and donuts ready when I get there. All right.